How's it going, guys? My name is Zach with the Movie Castle, and today we're going to be taking a look at Tenement #1. This is written by Jeff Lemire with art by Andrea Sorrentino and is part of their Bone Orchard Mythos line, which I guess I'll explain really quick. Bone Orchard Mythos is a set of individual stories that can be read in any order that all stand on their own, but all of the Bone Orchard Mythos take place in the same universe and share the same mythology. I really do love this approach, and this has been one of my most excited I've been for a horror comic project that I've heard about, but focusing on telling individual creepy stories but rewarding the audience if they pay attention to how it connects to a larger universe. Really gives you something to puzzle over, but also just keeps the core of an individual, well-told story without getting bogged down by the heavy stuff. Overall, a really good setup, and it is something often these books give you a lot to puzzle over and have a lot of reread value as you read the story again and get deeper pieces. And I mean deeper pieces both for the world as a whole and the story you're reading. And I've loved every one so far. So first we had The Passageway, and then we had 10,000 Black Feathers. And this is the third book, Tenement, which issue 1 just came out, and I'm really liking it. Basically, you get 7 people that all live in the same building, and their lives are mysteriously tied together, and you get one of them, a kid, who's getting the dark visions. He sees the tree in their courtyard as a sort of otherworldly place, and yeah, he's starting to get a hint at the dark underworld. Now, with 7 characters, that's a lot more than the past Bone Orchard Mythos have had, and I was worried that we would get, especially only having 22 pages, that we wouldn't get to know them all, but actually they quite quickly set up a lot of their stories and how they're connected to each other, The nurse character is the mother of the kid, and we get to see, the old man and the parking station attendant are neighbors, and we get to see, the drug dealer knows the musician, and we get to see kind of that map, but we also get, within a very short amount of time, we get to know a lot of their stories. Not necessarily all of them super well, but we get, one guy who's struggling with money because his wife is dying, and we get, just that sense of desperation he is in, even though we don't have a full 22 pages with him. So, yeah, not all the stories are super spelled out. I mean, it is issue 1, but we do get a good sense of character for quite a few characters in one issue, and I think this is something that maybe not all the other books, not every writer could do this, but I think that over the course of what's probably going to be 5 issues, that we're going to get to know all these people pretty well, and I really do like this setup, what's going on in this mysterious apartment building, and it really is just opening the door to this mystery, but already I can say I'm very excited for this. Anyway, if you guys want to see more, without further ado, let's go ahead and switch to the close-up camera. I'll show you guys a little bit of the story and the art, but I won't be doing any major spoilers. I'll try not to cover more of the end than I really have to. I'll steer clear of that for the most part. But anyway, without further ado, let's go and switch to the close-up camera. Alright, here we are inside the castle taking a closer look at Tenement from the Bone Orchard Mythos. Let's go ahead and bring this closer to the camera. Really love this bright red striking cover, the tenement building fading in to the roar scratch test. And if we zoom in really close, I don't know how you can see it, the dotted comic book style pattern is really prevalent. That with this heavy, contrast building really does give it a little bit of a pop art / horror feel. And then there's the #1, the black and white apartment building on the back. A really cool black page. You can see a few finger smudges. Yeah, the ink is super thick in this book, so it does stick a little bit, but it's not too bad. Cover by Andrea Sorrentino, 00111, $3.99 US, which is pretty good. I mean, a lot of books are going higher nowadays. Rated M, 18 plus. Yeah, not super explicit, but this is definitely for the older crowd. Anyway, crack it open, and we get credit page, and it lists Jeff Lemire and Andrea Sorrentino both at the top with unspecified jobs. Lemire is the writer and Sorrentino is the artist, but it just lists them both at the top because this really does seem like a collaborative effort. It really does seem like a back and forth between the two. You get some artists that sadly they just say, hey, just draw what I tell you to, but it seems like Lemire is building something with Sorrentino, and it's really cool to see the collaboration between the two. In fact, the back of the book, we get a letter from Sorrentino, and he talks about his idea in horror and how he likes things that are, cerebral and Lovecraftian and get in your head and stuff. And so he talks about his idea of horror as well as building this shared universe, how he wants to make a universe that can create a world for individual stories to grow in. It rewards the reader for paying attention to see the connections, but it's not crucial. It's not like one piece has to lead into the next. It's sort of a mystery for you to uncover, and right now we're already seeing connections, and I am getting ideas as to what the lore might be like, but it's not all spelled out, and I really do like the approach of not spelling it out and focusing on individual stories. And then after that, we get a bunch of ads for more Jeff Lemire books. Look at all the work he's done for Image right there. Anyway, without further ado, let's jump into the story proper. Again, I don't want to spoil too much, so I'll try not to go too terribly far, but I do want to show you guys a little bit of the art, talk about a little bit of the story, but again, just a little bit. I don't want to do major spoilers. But anyway, we open up with these tree branches, which might be what the Rorschach test is trying to depict, and we get a mysterious narrator who we don't know right away who the narrator is. 7. There are 7 of them. That much I am almost certain of. So, who is talking and who are the 7? Well, we get a few pages of their lives running parallel. I really like this double page splash where we see 3 panel stories from all 7 of our characters, and some of them make sense. Like, say, this guy here, he's betting on the horses, $1,000 on this horse, and then a sad face. We can get that story, although later on in the book it has more meaning. But some of them, like the old man's story, he's copying his key, and then he has 2 of them. Why does he want 2 keys to his apartment? Well, maybe we'll find that out in a minute. But we get our 7 characters, and one of them is this boy here, and his story is going a little different when he steps on what appears to be charred human remains and the sky turns red. And we can see that in comparison to the other panels, his are starting to slip off the edge. Anyway, a lot of this book is focusing on character work. I mean, it is issue 1, it is an introduction, you can't go too hard. But how about for some of the horror pages that we have, let's go pretty darn hard. So we get this double page splash of what the kid's seeing, and oh my gosh, is that horrifying. 2 figures hanging from a tree, a blood red sky. In the middle of this lake, there's a guy who looks up at you and is in a whole lot of shadow, and the kid is scared. And the beach he's on appears to be made of more charred human remains. Yeah, this is just your opening scare here. Very, very good. But we get a snapback to reality as the drug dealer says, hey, get out of my courtyard, kid. And we see that there is, in fact, a real-life tree there, but a lot less spooky, After that, we do get a fun scene, and I won't show you all of it, but that kind of because all these characters live in the same apartment building, and it kind of pans between all of them. Like, the guy that we focus the most on is the guy who's betting on the horses. Turns out it was a last-ditch effort to pay for his wife's medical bills, and he talks to the nurse and says, the nurse says, hey, I didn't get paid last week, and he's like, oh, just give me one more week, and she's really nice about it. But we see the tight spot that he's in, and then we'll do things like we'll go up through his air vent and come out the air vent into the drug dealer's house. And we get a fun train of characters. You know, the drug dealer is meant by the guitarist, and the guitarist walks past the young boy coming out of the elevator. So it's sort of a way to sell that all these characters are in the same building, and is a bit of fun, flashy storytelling. The kid will bump into the old man having an argument, and the old man will pay attention to him, introduce himself, and try to start up a bit of a conversation. And the kid is, of course, going to get scared and leave. And we got, you know, as we went through all those people, a little bit of clues as to what might be going on with them through various conversations. But again, my goal is not to spoil everything, but I will say that night things get creepy. And I wish I could show you more of the art, because when things get creepy, the artwork from Sorrentino really does shine. But, you know, again, not going to spoil everything. But let's just say some fun, kind of surreal moments that don't go super hard, because this is issue 1, but do establish a good tone, and it ends with a pretty fun hook. And also, I guess I should point out this one detail that's also on this page. The kid goes into his room, and you see the book from 10,000 Black Feathers there. Yeah, tiny little clues and hints that these are related without over-explaining everything. Really gotta like that. But anyway, Tenement number 1 is a pretty good start to this new series. I really hope this series goes for a long time, and I really do like the approach of individual stories with a fabric beneath them, and that's going to work the best if they make like 20 plus of these, and I really hope they do. I would love to read a whole bunch of these and then, you know, be able to talk to people and be like, oh no, the clue hidden here, didn't you see that? That's, the mythos is all here, and seeing just little ways that they connect for now. And I already have theories and stuff, so this is super interesting, and I really hope that Bone Orchard does a bunch of books. I'll definitely be collecting them. I have the hardcover for 10,000 Black Feathers, and I want more of them. Anyway, to everyone who's watched so far, thank you for watching. To everyone who's liked and subscribed, thank you. You really are helping the channel out. I'll leave a relevant playlist on the bottom. This should be my Jeff Lemire playlist, where you can find my reviews for Bone Orchard Mythos The Passageway, as well as 10,000 Black Feathers, so you can see my thoughts on the other ones. Anyway, have a good day. I'll see you guys again very, very soon. Relevant playlist on the bottom. Have a good day now.